going to talk a little bit what it means when certain cards show up. What I wanted with this, I wanted to name this book Numbers and Elements in Tarot, but I'm renaming it to something else, which I'm not going to do because the book got a little bit heavy. So I might make it a bit easier to understand. My husband read it. He's not a tarot reader, and he was like, it's too complicated. So I'm going to simplify it. But basically what the aim of the book was that you can, before you even look at the card meanings, you simply look at the elements and the numbers, and you use your insight into what it means to draw certain conclusions. For example, let's say you get a lot of cups and swords in your reading. That's water and air. That's sensitivity and intelligence operating in your life. Maybe you are a bit of a mystery to people. Maybe people can't really figure out because you have two sides of you. And maybe you are, it's like a sensitive soldier, you know what I mean? Like it's a compassionate warrior, you know what I mean? Maybe you have a lot of swords and wands. Swords and wands is like competition. That's someone who you can't not notice, someone who will be maybe a little bit aggressive in their approach, but it's because they believe and they're so passionate and they just believe in what they believe in so much, and then it kind of comes out of them at every opportunity. Maybe you get a lot of pentacles and swords, and those two elements in tarot actually work a little bit against each other. So maybe you find it hard to save money. Maybe as soon as you have money, it disappears because you may be very impulsive with money. It's like another tarot reader explained it as having a stack of money notes on a table outside, and the wind just comes and it flies away. Maybe you have a lot of pentacles and water, but that's actually elements that work well together for things to grow in your life. But maybe you get a feeling using your intuition because there's a dominant of cups, and maybe there's a little bit of pentacles, maybe much less than cups, and then you feel like it's just turns into mud instead. Or maybe you have much more pentacles than cups, like more earth than water. Maybe you feel like you would like a little bit more water in this situation, a little bit more intuition, a little bit more love and connection to feelings. But sometimes you might have a suit that is completely absent. That will give you a lot of information, because then of course you know that there's zero cups, there's zero connection through my subconscious, through my feelings, through my heart to this situation. I feel disconnected. I'm connecting with it through my mind. Maybe I'm even passionate about it, but it's like almost like an impulsive thing, unable to sit in it and rest in it and be rejuvenated by it. And all the cards have a number and an element. So you're always being influenced by the numbers and the elements. So number one, like let's say you have lots of one energy, the Magician, the Sun, Wheel of Fortune, the tens in the minors, the aces. If they show up, then there's a lot of drive to succeed. There's a lot of drive to be independent, to have the self-determination, not depending on anyone else, individualism. And that energy works really well with kings, because kings have authority. Kings are at top of the game, so you have better chance at having determination. And if you don't get kings with the wands who work towards authority, work to be the authority in your field, that will give you self-determination. And then you have the twos, which is relationships, love, loving what you do, loving the people you're with. Threes are ambition as well, similar to the one energy, But with the threes comes more creativity, often better communication skills, and often fame and like a lot of, there's a skill in entertaining through words. With that comes often fame. Number 4 is stability. It's security. It's wanting to invest and grow, and invest in the home and family, commitment. That number does quite well with Pentacles, because Pentacles is your lendables, it's your money, it's your structure in your life, it's your routine. And if there's a complete lack of Pentacles in your life, then often there's a lack of routine, lack of structure, lack of something dependable. 5 is your adventure, the unexpected, it's often the seeker wanting more adventure as well. So it's like feeling a little bit stuck, feeling a little bit like you're blocked in and you want to take more risks. So with 5s, if there's a lot of them, the seeker is probably very restless. And I want to seek out new situations in their lives, and they work really well with wands. And wands is fire, so it gives the seeker energy to pursue adventure. It gives them the energy and passion to take those risks. But if you also get knights, then that's even better, because that's usually, it connects them with an actual real opportunity that you can grab, that will give you everything you're seeking when it comes to a new life for yourself. So it's often something that will take you either overseas, or it will take you into a completely new field. You will move most likely, or travel. It will just take you into a new area, a new environment. 6 is the number for the mother and the father, or the boss. So it's someone who wants authority as well, similar to the 1, but it's less individualism. Now it's more nurturing the group, but wanting to be right at the head of that group. So often they will seek out having their own families, but if it's not about families, then it's, and like if you're not having your own children, or if parenting is not really what's going on in your life, then it's nurturing the work you're doing, your colleagues, your business, animals. So often it's all of it. It's having the children, working on, a business, or a high position of some kind, where you get to kind of be the matriarch or the patriarch. They like to be fully in charge of their environment. They don't like things when it's out of control. So if you get a lot of 6s, and you also get a lot of major arcana cards, then that can crash a little bit, and the seeker could feel often that their life is a little bit out of control. The flow is going a little bit against them, and they don't feel really going to land on their feet. They think that it's going to be sabotaged somehow. Maybe they're sabotaging it a little bit themselves as well. 9s, I'm going to talk about the 9s, work really well with flow. I'm going to talk about that. 7 in your readings is the healer, but 6 is kind of the healer as well. But 6 heals through kindness, caring for, taking care of, nurturing through food, and just being there for somebody. And if you get 6s with minors, and especially cups, then there's a lot of that in your life. But 7s heals wanting just a direct connection to a creator wall, and it's seeking away from people, more into a life in solitude, where they can concentrate and focus only on creator wall, the spiritual realm. They're not so interested in the world. They're stepping away from the world. So if you get 0s in your reading, through the Fool, Wheel of Fortune, Judgment, they all have 0 energy. Fool is a 0, Wheel of Fortune is a 10, and Judgment is 20. You also get it through the 10s in the minor arcana card. Then you have God's vibration in your reading with the 7. That feels really good for someone who's in that 7 energy. It feels like the prayers are being answered. It feels like things are making sense. They're getting answers. They're getting healing. They're getting, they feel like their beliefs is aligning with what's, what is happening, and what also they are feeling and connecting with spiritually. And if you get cups as well, then that deepens it even more. But sometimes if you get wands and you get the 7 with the 0 and you get a lot of wands, that person could be almost like completely fanatical in their beliefs. It could be going deeply into a religious belief system and believing it so fully that they're unable to really think about that other ideas can be real, you know what I mean? 8 in the reading is someone who really wants financial freedom. And business, and wanting to often get a little bit hung up in the idea of big money. So there can be some lessons attached here to losing money as well, because chasing the big money can also make you lose bigger as well. But there could be some financial lessons coming with the number 8. Sometimes people also being a bit foolish with money. I'm going to read to you what I've written here about the 8. Number 8. Number for business, karmic patterns and authority. 8 promotes the seeker to do well in business and to work hard towards their financial goals. You might be guided to start a business or make investments. Strength, the star, and the 8 in the minors all speak of strength of characters. Many 8 showing up in your reading denote willpower to succeed. You will be going through a karmic pattern that is hard to break free from. Number 8 goes in a circle. So it can mean repeating the same old. When you see many 8s in your reading, you could be given a golden opportunity to free yourself from this karmic pattern. You might need to change up your routine, especially if you want something new. If not, you will have more of what you already have. When there are many 8s in your reading, it could also mean you will feel a bit misunderstood emotionally. That's something that comes with the number 8. 8 is connected to the father, and the seeker could be very influenced by father. So look at what your father believed and how your father influenced you. That can be the key to breaking free from the karmic pattern. This number is also very focused on image and often likes to look good. You know, it's more the superficial, you know. Be very focused on your appearance, and in some cases they're very self-conscious, especially with 8 of Swords. And when 8 of Swords is reversed, it's even more so. When 8 is a negative, the seeker could be too materialistic, or they could be giving away all of their money with nothing left, so it's like being foolish with money. They need to have balance in their finances. They need to make peace with money. So with the number 8, look for, then you're basically, what you're looking for then is a financial opportunity. And you want to look good. You want to look good. Looking good will make you feel good. So definitely look for pentacles, look for kings. But also the key, I feel, to number 8 is to breaking free from something that you've done and repeated many times that might not be, might not be the best thing for you. How can you break free from a karmic pattern? Number 9 is interesting as well, because it's like the 6 upright. And it works with flow really well. 6 doesn't like flow, like it's not in the way of the major arcana. Like it doesn't work with flow. It wants to be the one creating things and seeing the result, cause and effect. But with 9, it doesn't need that. It just needs to be. It doesn't need to know everything, how things are going to come about. They trust that it will come about. So people who have 9 in their numerology, maybe their 9 life paths, they often will experience this, that they land on their feet in situations where they really have no clue how to do things. They just land on their feet and it turns out all right for them. But they could deal with some issues around loneliness. And sometimes they transcend this, especially if the Hermit, who is also a 9 and a major arcana card, it's the most powerful card for the number 9. It has transcended the loneliness and has made peace with it, made peace with solitude. But if you get a lot of 9s, and maybe you get like 9 of Swords, maybe you see 8 of Cups as well, then maybe you get more like the seeker it feels very alone on a very deep level. And this loneliness can it can be something they felt from childhood, from very early age. And they need to work on that. They need to work on releasing the loneliness. But the gifts of the number 9 is often that they're going to reach their highest potential in their lifetime. Actually, it's the highest number. And that is actually what the hermit means as well. Like they're right at the top. You know, there's some hermit on top of the mountain with the lantern, shedding light that has made peace with his solitude. That means that he is very empowered, so he can be around lots of people and never lose his sense of self. He can be alone and never feel lonely. That's what it means. And then there's number 11, which is, in numerology, you break all the numbers down to a 1-digit number. So number 11 is 2. But number 11 is also a master number. So you often see it as 11 and then 2. So it's like, it's 2. It has all the attributes of 2, but it has a bit of an edge. And there's only one card in the deck that has this energy, and that's the Justice card. So when Justice shows up in your reading, there might be more of an edge. There might be more intensity. So think of everything that's going on in the reading, but put it more as an intense thing, meaning the seeker has now upped their game. They want things to be better and bigger and more fantastical than before. They have much higher expectations of themselves. They want to reach a mastery and skill and perfection at a much higher level. And they can, as a result, adapt into an extreme lifestyle. So you look at what other cards are showing up and the suits and everything, but they're trying to achieve perfection. And they want to they want to seek perfection, but there might also be more judgment cast your way if you're around someone that are going through this, but they're actually very judgmental towards themselves. And if they have health problems, it could be due to that they're on a diet that is very bad for them, like they're trying to achieve some a perfect state of being, but maybe they just go through an unhealthy lifestyle. They're going too extreme. And they want to be out of their comfort zone. So their growth often happens at a very high rate for the person, but it could become a self-harming. It could be self-harming involved as well. So that's something to think about if the Justice card shows up. And maybe also there's some lessons there as when it comes to reaching emotional balance. There's more scrutiny on the seeker as well. So when the seeker goes through this, and that's where the outside world reflects on what's going on the inside, they might be much, much more susceptible to criticism. Like if someone is going through this Justice energy, the master obsession with mastery, then they're much more susceptible to criticism. And people can easily cast criticism on them, and they'll take on a subconscious level on the blame. That's why sometimes with Justice, you also see it actually playing out in their lives through, the legal system as well, because they're taking on blame, they're taking on scrutiny and judgment as well. So guys, I hope you guys got a little bit of insight what my book will be about. I will also talk about the cards, individual card meanings, and upright and reversed. I think we learn a lot about the cards from learning about them reversed. I'm going to do 9 of Wands. Number 9 with fire. The seeker could feel very unsupported and hurt right now. Old pain and wounding. Remember, 9 deals with old abandonment issues. Could resurface. Endurance and perseverance are developed. Remember, the seeker is actually learning to transcend a lot of these weaknesses that we have when we feel very, we feel alone and we're seeking outside of ourselves, which makes it kind of worse then, But with 9 of Wands, the seeker is actually learning to master this energy, and it actually takes them to become the hermit who has transcended loneliness. But reversed, 9 of Wands means carelessness, weakness, stubbornness, unable to safeguard something important, and also being accident prone. So with 9 of Wands, the reason the seeker can transcend is that they're protecting something they believe is more important than them as an, it's more important than anything is protect something they have built up that they're very proud of. It can be, protecting their family. It can be protecting a way of life, a culture. They believe in it, and that's how they transcend their own individual needs. They actually believe in something bigger than themselves, and you see that in 9 of Wands. But all the cards will make a lot more sense to you when you understand the numbers and the elements. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this, and I can't wait to share this book with you. Bye, guys.